Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over everything you need to know for the 2023 XFL season. So the XFL is back for their third try, and their season will kick off this Saturday, February 18th, when the Vegas Vipers take on the Arlington Renegades. So there's 8 teams in the XFL split up into 2 divisions, the North and the South. The teams in the North are the DC Defenders, the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Seattle Sea Dragons, and the Vegas Vipers. The teams in the South Division are the Arlington Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, the San Antonio Brahmas, and the Orlando Guardians. So the XFL regular season is 10 weeks long. Each team will play 10 regular season games, and the regular season runs from February 18th through April 23rd. Then there are 2 semifinal games, one on April 29th, the other on April 30th. Then there's an off week between the semifinals and the championship, before the championship game is played May 13th. Getting to some rules in the XFL, so there's actually some really interesting rules. Starting off with maybe the most unique rule. So after teams score a touchdown, there will be no kicking extra points. Instead, the offenses will stay on the field, and they will have 3 options. They can go for 1 point, where they'd snap the ball from the 2-yard line. They could go for 2 points, where they would snap the ball from the 5. Or they could go for 3, where they'd snap the ball from the 10. So that's definitely going to add a very interesting twist to the XFL. Seeing if teams opt to go for 1, 2, or 3. That's definitely going to be interesting, and it might even create some interesting scores. Moving on to some onside kick rules. So teams have 2 options to try to retain possession after scoring. Teams could go for a traditional onside kick, or they could go for a 4th and 15 from their own 25. And if they convert on the 4th and 15, then they will keep possession. But now the twist to that is a team can only go for the 4th and 15 if it's the 4th quarter, whereas you could kick the traditional onside kick at any point in the game. The overtime rules, so teams will alternate 2-point conversions from the 5-yard line, and they will go for 3 attempts or until a winner is decided. There's also a double forward pass rule. So there's 2 forward passes allowed as long as the first pass does not cross the line of scrimmage. And if the first pass falls incomplete, it's just an incomplete pass. The clock and game time rules. So each team will have 3 timeouts per half. There will be 35-second play clocks. And the clock will stop on first downs when there's within 2 minutes to go of each half. And finally, the replay rules. So each head coach will get 1 challenge per game, with the final ruling being made by the officiating department in a central location. And replay could also correct a call in the XFL at any time. So some big name or notable players in the XFL. So we've got a bunch of quarterbacks that you guys have probably heard of, plus some other positions as well. But quarterback Paxton Lynch of the Guardians, he is a former NFL first-round pick. Quarterback DeAndre Francois, also of the Guardians, a former Florida State star. Quarterback A.J. McCarron of the Battlehawks, a former NFL backup and Alabama star quarterback. Quarterback Jordan Teamu of the Defenders. He was one of the top players in the XFL in 2020. Now he's back this time with a different team. He played for the Battlehawks in 2020. This time he's with the Defenders. Quarterback Ben DiNucci of the Sea Dragons. He actually started the game in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys. Running back Abram Smith, also with the Defenders. He was a former Baylor star. A few notable wide receivers. Wide receiver Josh Gordon plays for the Seattle Sea Dragons, a former NFL star. Wide receivers Geronimo Allison and Martavius Bryant both play for the Vegas Vipers. And wide receiver Eli Rogers plays for the Guardians. Some notable defensive players. We've got defensive end / linebacker Vic Beasley for the Vipers, a former NFL and Falcons star. Was a former defensive player of the year candidate at the NFL. Safety Matt Elam of the Guardians was also a first-round pick of the NFL. There are other big names, but those are some of the biggest, most recognizable names. But I'm sure there's plenty of other names that you guys have heard of. But that's everything you need to know for the XFL season. The rules, teams, big players, when the season is. And let me know in the comments who you guys will be rooting for in the XFL. I'm going to be a Guardians fan. I was a fan of them when they were in New York in 2020. Now they moved down to Orlando. I'm going to stick with them. So I will be an Orlando Guardians fan for the XFL. Let me know who you will be rooting for in the comments below. But I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. We'll see you in the next video.